Good morning. I can't wait to do today's card. Oh my gosh, I had a light bulb go off this morning. I was getting ready to go walk and it hit me. So I decided to fly with it today. I am still using the card that I posted for the preview, I guess you could say. But I'm changing it up. I'm going Christmas style. So I thought it would be fun to show you some ideas with that. I hope you have your beverage of choice and that you're ready to learn some new things. I have to tell you, celebration is coming, and I am actually using the paper. Hey, Peggy, that I got from Celebration, and the bundle that I'm using is in the upcoming catalog, and I'm trying to think. It's not quite 50 bucks, but if you added some embellishments or ribbon, you would have 50 bucks before you knew it, and then you could get this paper free that I think goes so well with this stamp set. I love it. I'm thinking of doing, hey Barb, a Christmas card series like I did last year, but focusing on that paper. So I'm playing with the idea. I'm checking to see if there's some interest. If there's not, then I'm not going to spend my time coming up with the ideas, but we'll see. And I was thinking that this card would actually be a fairly simple card to do. Hey, Biddy Ann. So I thought, oh, hold on, I'm losing my iPad. All right, there it is. All right, I didn't want to lose my iPad. Hi, Deb, because it's got all of my, now it's asking me if I want to watch it on my TV. I don't want to watch it on my TV. I didn't know you could do that, but somebody was talking about it the other day. I didn't know you could pull up Facebook on your TV. It's like, I got to figure out how to do that because I watch some videos on Facebook and I would love to be able to watch them on my TV. So I'm going to play with that idea. I'm really big into those kind of things. So anyway, getting back to my card for today, I am using a bundle from the upcoming catalog and the free celebration paper. Hey, Renee, that goes with it. And I decided to make this change because it's like, hey, Linda, I do, I show you guys lots of different things that you can do. And I thought, well, it's time to start thinking about Christmas. Especially if you make your Christmas cards. Now, I know a lot of people don't, they buy them. But if you like to make them, it's time to start thinking of ideas and getting them made. I make a lot of Christmas cards, so I don't have to make, oh, thanks, Linda. Hey, Marie. Boy, you guys are coming in here this morning. You must be excited about this one. I don't have to make them because I make them to share on my blog and things, and so it's like, okay, I have tons of cards. I just pull from those. I have a stack from last year that I think I'm just going to package up. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'll package up a bunch of those Christmas cards in that box for Tina and send it out to her. I've got a bunch of birthday cards. I'll throw in Christmas cards because she's going to be looking for those soon, so I'll throw those in there, and that'll fill that box up and I can get it out. So anyway, I thought I would take this idea and show it to you and walk through my process of how I do this, because I know some people are new stampers and they may not know how to go about taking a card you see and breaking it down and making another card using the same layout, so to speak. So that's what I'm going to do today, is I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to take one more sip. I can't see what time it is. Let's see. Well, we've got a few more minutes, but I'm going to take another sip because I know it takes me a while to get this straight. And then I'm going to flip everything around and we're going to get started. I always end up having to go down and reheat my tea after we're done because it's cold. Not cold, but yeah, cold. All right. Okay, I got it going down. Now I've got to move I got to be careful not to hit that button. I'm not very good this morning. I don't like hitting that button. All right, I think I got it. All right, I got to give it a few minutes till I can see it on my iPad to know if it's straight or not. It looks straight. All right, so there's the card that I originally made and shared it with you. And I'm going to show you a couple of tricks that'll make it easy. So when I looked at this card, I knew I was going to need a panel in the center, some designer series paper here, and an image. Now this one I did emboss using the checks and dots embossing folder, and this is the exact width of those panels. So I mean, here's a great way to use those panels and have and not have to worry about trying to match it up to get the whole panel in the front. So let's get started with this. So there's where I'm going with it. All right. And I knew I wanted to use some of that type, oh, excuse me, the Peaceful Prints from the Celebration catalog. Now I love some of these, but there were some that was like, they're okay. So I'm going to use this piece and this piece today because they were not my favorites. And it's like, ooh, this is a great way to use that paper. So I'm going to pull in my trimmer or my cutter because I need my cutter. And I'm going to use my good old faithful guillotine cutter. I love this. I know that a lot of demonstrators like their trimmers. I like this one, so I'm going to use that. All right, I'm going to use this paper for here. And I knew I was going to use this because this is an in-your-face paper, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do with it? And this is the perfect way to use it. So I'm going to cut my paper at 4 inches. And our paper is 12 by 12, so if you cut it at 4, 4, and 4, you got 3 strips out of here. So there's my first cut. This needs to be the full size of the card, so it's 5.5. So I'm going to cut it at 5.5. All right, so there I have it. Now, you could put this on your card, but look at all of this that you're wasting. So what I did was I went back and I cut off 3/4 of an inch on each side. And that gives me my 2 strips for down the side. That also leaves you this piece that you can use as a panel down the side or across the bottom. So you haven't wasted your paper. Now I knew I needed a piece to cover this. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do? So I pulled out this other piece of paper that is not my favorite. The back is okay, but it's not my favorite. And again, I'm going to cut it at 4 inches. All right. And then I know it needs to be 5.5, so I'm going to cut it at 5.5. All right. Now, this is way too big. This piece is actually 3 1/8 of an inch. And that's the size you need for your embossing panel. Well, I'm not going to emboss this. I'm going to use it as it is. Save this piece because you can always use it, again, as a strip down the side or the bottom. All right, my cutting is done, so I'm going to move this out of the way. And I have my pieces ready to go. Now I need to do some stamping. And I'm going to use the Peaceful Deer along with the coordinating punch. I am stamping this deer because this punch punches it out. I am punching out the antlers, but I'm not, Carol, they have them. Stampin' Up! Doesn't have them, but you can find them easily. I like the guillotine. I've used it and I love it. I'm not stamping the antlers. I'm going to punch them out is what I was going to say. So I decided to use some crumb cake paper, and I know it's not the colors that are in there, but I wanted my deer to look realistic. So I'm going to use some soft suede ink, and you know what? I'm going to stamp this, and then I'm going to jump to another thing because it needs to dry some. All right, now I have pressed too hard because can you see that little blob in there? I have to be careful that it's not, I don't press too hard. So let's see. There. All right. So when you do that, either clean it out with a Q-tip since that's real tiny, or clean it and start all over again. But just don't press too hard like I did. Since I'm punching this out, I wanted something behind it. So I'm going to use a piece of vellum. And then I'm pulling in, I know I'm jumping. Sorry, I forgot. This has to dry some. I'm pulling in the snowflakes and Balmy Blue, and I'm going to stamp these snowflakes on the vellum. Now you can stamp on, I'm going to pull this over. Sorry guys, it's got writing on it because I want to be able to do that corner. You can stamp on vellum. Of course, now I can't see it. Move it up some. But you got to give it time to dry. So that's why I'm doing this now. Or hit it with your heat tool if you don't want to wait. But I think it'll dry. If not, I'll run over to the heat tool real quick. Oh, speaking of heat tool, I saw the neatest thing. I'm going to move that up there to dry. I'm looking around. I don't see, oh, here it is. I made this several years ago. I wanted to show this to you. I've got stuff on it. I used a trivet. Oh, sorry about that. From IKEA. And this is a cork trivet. Oh, hi, Jenny. Hugs to you too. So I made this using that trivet. But the person that I saw didn't have it decorated. She used the back. She put her piece that she was going to, had to heat on there and then heat it up. And she didn't have to hold it in her hand. So there's a little tip for you. You can, I know this came from IKEA, but you can probably find them in Walmart, places like that. It's just a cork trivet. So be on the lookout for those. I had a bunch of them, but they're gone, so I don't know what I did with them. All right, let's get back to my deer. It is ready to go. So I'm going to insert my deer in here. I need to take a trip to IKEA to get some of those because I like that idea. I've been using the reversible tweezers, but I like that idea better, especially for vellum because it's flimsy. The other thing I did was I wanted my antlers a different color, so I pulled in a scrap of soft suede and I'm going to punch those out, and that's it. All right, so I've got my antlers. This is scrap. I'm going to put those on with the glue dot. Ooh, there's a little tiny circle. Don't know what that's for. Oh, I guess it's from here. Oh, it's to make his nose red. Oh my gosh, I just noticed that. Did you guys see that? Oh my gosh, I cannot believe it. This little tiny thing is to make Rudolph. So you can punch out Rudolph's nose and have it red. What a genius. Oh my gosh, see what you find out when you play with things? And don't you love it when I make the discovery and it's like, oh my gosh, I just can't get over that. And I've had that for a while and hadn't paid any attention to it. It was just the fact that I'm going to add his antlers. I got to make sure I got to put this on the right way. I don't want his antlers running into each other. So I'm using a glue dot because that's the best way. I know a lot of people use the glue, but on things like this, I love the glue dots. All right. I didn't push it down. Now I'm going to push it down. So there he is. Isn't he cute? Oh my gosh, and he would be cute with a red nose. I may have to add that. All right, we're going to put our card together. Before we do, I'm going to kind of make a decision about this. I pulled in the Merry Christmas that's in that stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it in red. And I'm not going to go all the way at the top. I'm going to come down some. Hopefully that's straight. And it's not. Oh, well, that's all right. I will be redoing it on a scrap of paper and sticking it up there. But there's a way. I should have lined it up. It wasn't on my block straight either, so I'll be fixing that afterwards. All right, now to put my card together. So we all make mistakes. Now, I'm going to add the strips down the side. All right, so I'm going to add my seal to the back. Oh no, come on. All right, and then I just want a little tiny border. So it's about, and it's the same size top to bottom. It goes from top to bottom, so you only have to worry about the sides. So I'm leaving about 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. And the best part about this, you don't have to worry about the direction. I find I end up with that problem a lot, watching and seeing. I have taken and used the heat tool to release my paper. All right, now, this goes on top like so. So I'm going to add it. Looking at my ink to see. All right, and I'm watching my sides, making them even. And again, it's the same height, I guess you could say, so I didn't have to worry about it. So I tried to make it even. Now I wanted something, because I could put him on there, but I really wanted something to set him off. So and I think this is dry. I'm looking. I think this is dry. It doesn't seem to be shiny. So I'm going to add this with, okay, let me see here. When I do that, I always get it on my finger. All right, I don't have to worry about the tape runner showing through, although you really can't see it with the Stampin' Seal, so there's a good reason to get it. And then I'm going to put this up on dimensionals. So what do you think? I got to cut some. Other than the Merry Christmas, I think it's a cute card, and it's a great way to use that paper. I'm not 100% positive I want that. I'm thinking maybe it needs to be, no, I think it does, because you can still see the trees through it. One of those things. You know, you just got to kind of play with it and see what you like. Oops, that came off with that one. It won't stick. And I'm going to try and grab those antlers also. Let me get my pokey tool out. I love this deer too, Barb. They've got some really cute ones. They've got this cute little bunny. I'm not real fond of that. I don't like those deer that way, but the trees and everything, and I'm thinking, ooh, this might be, yeah, that's what I'm going to do, Carol, is stamp it on another piece and just pop it over it. I could use my silhouette cameo and cut these, stamp them and cut them out. So, I mean, that's a great way to use the other images without having to cut them out. But you can create a scene. I mean, look at this. You can stamp those trees and put those deer on there. Oh, cute. All right, I'm going to put him, let me make sure he's on here correctly, like so. And there it is. So what do you think? I know other than the greeting, which I have to fix, do you like this vellum behind it with the snowflakes? Oh, thanks for the hearts. Oh, thanks, Carol. I love this one, and I thought, how can I take this idea and do something else? And this is all stamps, paper, ink, but I did use the punch, but this is a bundle, and you save a lot of money when you buy the bundle. And I don't have my catalog up here to know what the cost is. So thanks, Linda. I just think it kind of sets that deer apart from all that. It kind of cuts that background down. Sometimes they can be too busy. So, but that's it. And that was the process that I went through after I created this card. So if you have a layout that you like, use it with other paper and stamps and recreate it. And you know what? Most people aren't going to know that it's the same layout, which I think is fabulous. It's like, oh, so I got more bang for my buck that way. Thanks, Renee. So I hope I tempted you with thinking about this stamp set. And like I said, this bundle and this paper are perfect together. In fact, that is what Stampin' Up! Has done with Celebration this time. They have taken and they've coordinated several celebration items with items in the, I call it holiday, but it's July to December. That's just too much to say. Holiday catalog. There's a dies that go with the stamp set in the catalog. It's actually, let me see if I can find the stamp set. I don't remember what it's called. I thought it was summer something. Let me see if there's a summer. Nope, there's a sunny sentiments. So, but it's, which, you know, to me is a great way if you're, you know, I know that people like to have the bundles together. I tend to buy what I like, and if it doesn't have a, what's it called, a die set or a punch to go with it, I just stamp the images and cut them out on my silhouette. If you have a scan and cut, you can do the same thing there. So lots of ways to do it. I think this is cute. I'm so glad it carried over. I have the older set. It's not that one, but it looks like that. This one, Shaded Summer. There are dies that cut these out. So that's one that, you know, the Shaded Summer. That's one that's in there that you can get the dies for. So they are doing some coordination, which I think is good. It makes you take a second look at the catalog with things. I placed another order the other day, and I've kind of decided that my advanced class in August is going to be Quiet Meadow with Simply Elegant DSP. And then I'm using, it's one in the next catalog, Nature's, I don't know, it's something that's very similar to that. And I'm using that. And I don't remember what paper I chose. I don't remember. I don't know. I may have to look, but that's what I've got. All right, let me flip this around and we can chat a little bit more before we all start our day. Sorry, guys. There we go. That's a little better. All right, there. Oops, I gotta go up a little. Cutting off my head. I'll sit back a little. So, are you guys ready to start making your Christmas cards? I know Christmas in July is a big thing, and I've done a bunch of cards, but I thought, I'll do another one. I hadn't played with this, and I wanted to play with it and see how it goes. I really like them, like the set, and it was one that I debated on. I wasn't going to get, and then I thought, I'm going to get this and play with it and see, and boy, am I glad I did. I have so much to do this weekend. I am so far behind with everything, so I'm going to be a designing fool this weekend. Good thing I don't have anything going on. So I'm going to take and sign off. I will be back on Thursday in the group with another idea, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. It's supposed to be gorgeous weather. I hope, although hot. So please be careful. Don't go out and do a bunch of stuff in this heat, because it's so easy to get heat stroke, and it's like, just stay inside and play. That's what I look at it as. All right, guys, have a great weekend. Hope to see you next week. Bye.